Hello.
Yes, I am here. So, welcome to the session again, guys. And just wait for a few minutes. I think Moina is joining. Just wait for a few minutes, Bhagwan.
Okay. Hello, Keshav. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. So everybody is able to hear my voice clearly, right?
Yeah.
So let us start with the session today. Uh, Yesterday, whatever I thought is clear, right? Bhagwan, Moina.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So anybody of you knows how to add a new user, how to create a new user, all those things?
No.
No.
Okay. Fine. So let us just move ahead with some little bit more things apart from the things which we have dealt yesterday. We'll try to change the permissions. We'll try to just do certain other things in Linux. Okay. So let me just share the screen. Okay. Fine. So I'll go to AWS. Let me just launch up an EC2 instance. This one is already running. I'll launch up another one. Still pending, just give it some time, it will launch. Yep, it's running now. So what do? We generally, I told you that you have to just download a software called as MobaX Term. You just download that software and then you just have to log in that particular system. So I'll go there. I'll delete this one. I'll click upon session. By default, the username, if you go for Amazon Linux, is EC2 user. Just give the specify username as EC2 user always. Give the private key, keypair.png. Once you're done with that, I think you'll be able to. Okay, the key pair file is not there, I think. Hold on. Yep, now it's fine. So what were the things we discussed yesterday? We discussed about how exactly we can create some files, how exactly we can again do all sorts of works with how to again with that file itself. Okay, so today let us discuss some more things into detail, how to change the permissions, how to do all sorts of work. Okay, acha. So just wait for a second. Fine. So you all remember the weights and all those things, right? Which we did yesterday. Read, write, execute, all those things. Everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just try to write down all the things which we have studied till now, and again some other things as well. Oh, let me make it as 14. So the first one which we were discussing was, I think, what was the first? The ls, right? List show, all those things and all was there. List show, then we had ls-l, which showed us all the things, isn't it? Whether how exactly the permissions, what exactly the permissions are, or whatever the details of the all the folders and files were shown once you are going to use this kind of command, right? Then we had something like lsa. Now if you do this lsa, that means basically you're trying to say, let me just go there and show it to you. Okay, if I'll write lsa, it will show you everything. Okay, whatever things are there inside your whatever the files or folders are there, it will be shown to you if you are going to use lsa in the current directory. So it shows you all the things in the current directory. Hold on. So all the details, current directory. Then fourth is, okay. So then we saw what is cd. Cd basically means change the directory. After that, you need to give certain things. If you give like a slide, let's say slash or something else, or whatever the folder name you give, it will be directly going to that folder. Then I showed you, you can say the directory as well, how exactly your user looks like, how exactly your user or where exactly your user is located, right? Those things were there. Okay. Let me give it as a certain generic name, folder name, right? This is change directory, the current folder or whatever the folder name is. Then we had cd dot dot, which took you back to your immediate parent, isn't it? Goes to parent directory. That is what is meant by cd dot dot. Now let us go again here. Fine. So today let us do some other things as well. Let us try to just create up a directory. Okay. So right now I am inside my slash through EC2 user. I'm not the root. I'm not handling the root account right now. I'm not in the root account right now. So now you will see if I'll write. Let me just go inside EC2 user itself. Okay. Now this slash has changed from there to here. So that means you're inside this EC2 user folder. So here if I have to make a new directory, I will write down make directory mkdir. Then you have to give the name of the folder. So you'll say, let's say folder 1. Okay. I'll say make directory folder 1. This is the folder which I'm trying to create. Once you do it, now if you will do else, it's going to show you folder 1 which is present. Again, the color is like this. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll say make directory is used for creating up a new folder. Not creating up a new folder, I will say creating up a new directory. And 7 is, yep. Now let's say you have created the directory. Let's say you want to create up a file inside the directory. What will you do? You'll first of all go into this directory, isn't it? So I'll write cd folder 1. Now you will see that from here I am inside the folder 1. So let's create up a file here. What was the process of creating up the file? I said vi file name, right? So I said file1.txt, something like that. And then you have to press I for actually writing down some value. I'll say this is a new file inside folder 1. Okay. Now let us just talk about the like once you have created the file, how do you have to come out of it? That is also I have to write down. So I'll say vi and I'll say file name dot extension. What does it do? It creates a new file and opens in editor. It's not pre-existing. If this file is not pre-existing, then it will open the editor. Open in the editor. Okay. This is what is meant by your vi file. Okay. Then what you have to do next? You have to start writing in the editor by pressing I. Let me make it like this. Yeah. Once you pressed up I, then you can start writing up inside the editor. That is what is meant by. Yep. This is how you do it. Now, once you are done with the part, once you are done with writing up something in the file, what are we going to do next? We are going to exit out of it, right? So for exiting out of that editor, how do you have to exit? You have to press escape plus 2 if you want to quit without saving the content. That is what is meant by escape. Let me get some spaces between it. Yeah, escape plus :q. Then you are going to write down escape plus :q. If you want to forcefully quit without saving, then there is something called as escape plus : wq. What does it means? Write the changes and quit. That is what I was doing yesterday as well. Basically, you can say save and quit. Escape plus colon WQ, and then you have a exclamation mark. Once you want to say forcefully write the changes and quit. Okay, so these are the escape routes which are available to you. So you can use any one of them here. If I will write down, let's say I'm writing, this is inside a new folder, right? This is a new file inside folder 1. That is what I've written here. So if I will press escape, I'll say colon WQ, I press enter, I'll come out of it. Okay, this is how you try to read, or sorry, this is how you try to write up the file. Acha. Now let us say I want to read the file, or if I want to write the, or I want to display the contents in of an existing file. What is the command I give? I write down cat the file name, file1.txt. Once you do that, you can see that whatever the content in the file was, it is being displayed in the screen. Okay, that is what is meant by your cat. Let me write it down as well. Let's say cat file name. I'm writing the angular brackets. Don't think that these angular brackets have to be included. Okay. Displays the content of the file name. This is what your cat does. Acha, you can do the same task of creating a file using cat as well. You can say cat, and then you have to give the file name dot extension. So make sure that once you write down cat, then you have to give an angular bracket, and then you have to give the file name dot extension. So that means you have to give the file name. This is used for creating a new file at the isn't working directly, or it will override. This is what is meant by your cat. Achha. Okay, fine. Let us see this as well. Let's say I want to create up a file called file2.txt now. Write down like this cat, then after that angular bracket, greater than angular bracket, and after that you have to write down the file name dot extension. Once you press enter, it will take you to the editor here itself. So right now you can write down, this is a new file to inside folder 1. Got it? Once you do this, moreover it is, or you can say moreover it will be done. So after that, how to come out of it? Now you don't have to use escape and colon q or something like that. Just press Control C. Control C will take you out of the file. So I'll write down here itself. Yeah, Control C takes you out of the editor. This is what this thing does. Okay, so till here everything is clear, right? No issues?
Yeah.
Yeah, no issues.
So this is how you generally create up the files. You generally try to, again, create up the folders and do all sorts of works. Okay. Now let's say that I want to remove a file. So what will I do? I will try to remove a file. For that, I'm going to write down something like remove. RM means remove and then you just give the name of the file. I'll say file2.txt. Once you do it, if you now see ls, you will see only one file is existing, but we created two here, right? But second one was removed because we used command then. I will write remove file or folder as well. Okay, it will work for both the things, folder or file name. Removes the folder/file. Whatever you give, it will remove it. Then what else we have? The next thing which comes into picture is your rf folder name. What will this rf do? Now rf basically says that recursive forceful deletion of the folder. It is actually going to delete the folder as well as whatever there is inside the folder as well. With contents in it. That will also be removed. That is basically saying that you are forcefully trying to remove a particular folder or yeah, particular folder. This is what again generally the thing is. So let's say that I will create up another file. Let's say I'll go to cd. That's it. It will take me back to the EC2 user again. The basic inside my EC2 user, I'll try to create up another directory. I'll say folder. I'll create now folder 2. Now if you will see, there will be two things, folder 1 and folder 2. Then I'll say move inside the folder 2. Okay, and once you do this, let's create up a file here. So I'll say file1.txt. I'll say cat. Oh, wrong symbol I gave here. Let's say something I'll write in here, and then I'll say control C. I'll come out of it. Now if you will see, there is file1.txt. Let's go back c dot dot. Now if I'll try to say rm folder 1, let's do this for folder 2. Sorry, will this work? Cannot remove folder 2. It is a directory. So what I'll do, rm -rf folder 2. Now you will see that it is deleted. Okay, this is how exactly your remove works. Now able to get an idea?
Yes. So basically, RM command is used only for the file, right?
Exactly.
And RF colon RF RM RF. This will be for folder, right?
Exactly. For folder and for forcefully deleting everything inside the folder as
Okay, okay, yeah, good.
well. Okay. This is how exactly your RMRF works. Fine. So this is about the thing. Let us now move ahead again. Let us now try to do something else. Let us try to move, copy, paste all those things. Let us try to do it now. Okay. So let us say I want to move a file from folder 1 to folder 2. For that, I'll create up a folder 2 first. So main directory folder 2. So this folder 2 is created. Now what else I am going to do? Acha. Let's go inside folder 1. So I am going to say, just give me a moment, guys. Just give me a moment. Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was getting a call. Okay, so yeah, CD folder one, I said something like this, right? Good. So what we have to do, I'm going to say that I have to cut, copy, paste, do all sorts of things. For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down move
Hello, hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was muted for that particular point of time. I thought I'm speaking.
Yeah, actually.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is what I was telling you. See, you have to move, if you have to move the source file to a destination file, okay. If you want to create up the copy of a, you can say current file inside the same directory, then you have to go for MV source file destination file. So what I've done here, I have written, see, MB file1.txt, which was, where was file1.txt? File1.txt was inside your folder one, isn't it? And then I said move it to folder 2. So what did it do? It actually created a folder 2.txt and pasted the content of file1.txt into that. Able to understand? If I'll do c dot dot, I'll say ls. There is folder 1 and folder 2. If you will go inside folder 1 and you will write down ls again, you will have folder 2. And if you will cat folder 2, which is basically your txt file, you will see that it is, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have to use this bracket, right? For reading, we don't use the bracket. Yep. Array, hold. Now you can see this is a new file inside the folder one, right? This was our file1.txt, remember? Able to get the idea or not?
Yes,
Sure?
yes,
Okay. Moina, you're also able to understand?
Yes.
This is what it is doing. It is removing that old file. Okay. It is removing that old file and creating up a new file with whatever destination file you're giving, whatever I gave here, like where it is. Yeah. So I said that folder 2. So it removed this file, it copied the content of this file, removed this file, created up something like this .txt, and inside this pasted up the content of the older file. This is what it is doing. Okay, that is what it does as well. So try to keep that thing in mind. And okay, so let's try to go ahead with something called as copy. Now let's do that as well. There is another command. Write it down. Cp. Here also the same thing. Source file, destination file. I'll say copies the old file from whatever location. Okay. Pastes with the given name at the destination location. Where it can be used? It can be used for creating a duplicate. Yeah, where it can be used for creating a duplicate if src and destination are the same. And file name is different. So I'll do one more thing here. I'll not write this thing, so this is going to confuse you. I'll say can be used for renaming the file. This is more sort of easier, right? So basically you are trying to rename the file. That is what you're doing, isn't it? So that is called as your, that is for your MV and this is for your copy. So if you use CP, then you will copy the same thing. Let us try to do this as well. So I'll say copy. Now I have folder 1.txt because this was the name, right? And where do I want to copy it to? Folder 2. Will it work? Let's see. No such file or directory. Is it? What is the thing? Actually, folder 2 was there, not folder 1. Hold on. So now if I'll go to cd dot dot, oh, just remember that there is always a space given in between cd and dot dot. Unless I'll go to cd folder 2, unless nothing is there, fine. Let us go to folder 1. What did it do actually? Let's see. Okay, now it created the copy of that file. You can see, right? So just created the copy of this particular file here. Okay, this is what it is used to do for. This thing is used to actually create the copy. That was used for renaming. So able to get the idea, right? So this is how you have to write down, or this is how you have to use certain commands in your Linux. Okay, now let us try to do some big things. Now what we have done, we have just created up certain files. We have tried to perform some operations over those files, and these things will actually be used. Okay, because once you are moving into the DevOps part, so you'll have to install something, you'll have to do something. Everywhere you will see that these things are being used. That is why these things are very important, and once you understand these things, then it will be easier for you to understand DevOps. So I told you yesterday one thing, that there are 3 things which you need to keep in mind. First is a user, again the owner, then you have groups, and then you have others, right? Remember the diagram, isn't it? So now there are three things here as well. So I told you that there will always be a group. Now EC2 user belongs to a group called as, again, I'll say it is sudo. Okay, in that sudo group, what happens? Whatever permissions are given to the root user, that will be accessible to EC2 user as well if it is using the command sudo. So it has to be in the same group as the root. That is why EC2 user is able to do all sorts of work. If you will see, if I will try to go to, let's say, cd slash, okay, if I will be writing sudo and let's say vi file1.txt, something like this, and I'll try to insert something, I'll press escape. Because I use sudo, I was able to create a file1.txt. Without using sudo, I wouldn't have been able to do that. If I would have said directly like file2.txt, let's say I'm creating up a file2.txt now inside my slash. Okay, so it will again take you to here. They will write this is something, and let's say escape wq. You'll see that now it is not taking up the command because we are not using sudo. That means it doesn't has the access to create anything. So what does that depicts? That anything apart from root and anything apart from any other user who is inside the same group as the root shall not be able to do or change anything inside a roots folder. Okay, that has to be changed only by the root, not by anybody else. This is what is, or this is how exactly these things are. Okay, so what you will do in this case, you will try to say escape ua. Yep, that is basically you're trying to forcefully quit the thing. Got it? So file2.txt is not created, but file1.txt is created because I used sudo. Super user do, that is what the full form is. Super user do. Super user is your root user. Acha, so if you want to switch to root, what do? You say super user do root, and you will go to your root account. Got it? So now you can create up certain users as well. How to create up users? You just have to write down add user, new user I'm trying to create. Okay, and where will this user be created? Inside the home folder. Remember, because EC2 user is also inside your home folder. So where it will be created? Add user, and let's say, yep, user 2, something like this. You can see a root, another user 2 would have been created. So you're just adding up this user. Now if you will go inside your home, two things are there, EC2 user and your user 2 as well. Getting the point? So let's say I'll go for EC2 user itself. Switch user, EC2 user. I'll become an EC2 user. On the left hand side, you can see the changes there. Okay, and I'm inside the home of EC2 user. Sorry, home of root through EC2 user now. I'll try to go for user 2. What is the password? Password we haven't created and it is asking the password. Acha. So let us do one thing. Let us not give this thing. Let me just come out of it. Right now you just saw that how to create up a user, right? You can use either add user or you can use user add. Both the things are nearly same, but they're a little bit different. I'll tell you how. If you are using add user, then you will have to set up the password by yourself for the user too. Okay, because now see, EC2 user by default was created by AWS, so you don't have to give the password. The key pair file which is generated, that is used as a password. Got it? But once you go ahead with this another user, you have to create the password for that user as well. Otherwise, if you do not create the password, then that is just wrong. So you generally have to create the password. So two commands are there. Let me write it down over Paint as well. Wait. Yep. So I'll write it here. Adding a user. Linux. Fine. So what will I do? I will say yes. User add name of user. That is your first command. Creates a new user. Okay, just let me just check once. What did we do? User add, where was add user? Huh. Let us do now user add once. User add. I'll say user 3 because see the difference between user and add user is that one you'll have to manually give the passwords, another one will automatically ask for creating up a password. So I'll just need to try that. I'll say user add user 3 permission denied. Acha, you don't have the permission to create a user because you are in EC2 user. So what do you need to do? You need to write sudo always. Okay, it created a user 3 as well. Okay, this is also doing the same work. So what I'll have to do sudo user 3 like this was there, I guess. The right password for user 3, something like this. How to give the password? Let me just check. I think okay. What happened here? What is the thing for password? I just forgot the command. Let me check it once. Command for setting password for new user. Not this one, not this one. Achha, it was password user. To change the password on your user, first sign in to the root account, then type. Okay. I think this is how it is done. Sudo password user p. Yep. Now it will ask you for a password. Able to get it? Let me write it down here as well in the paint window. I forgot the command actually. Creates up a new user, and once you are creating a new user, if you are an EC2 user and not root, then what will be the command? The command will have an extra sudo available here. Okay, this is what your thing is. I'll have to write down sudo password username. Create the password for the user. Okay, you have to use sudo. If you are not an EC2 user, you are root, then you do not use or you do not need to go ahead with sudo part. You can directly write down the password or that thing. Okay, so user add or add user, both the things do the same task. Okay, and in both the things you are actually there to create the password manually only because actually now since I don't know, this is a Linux which has been provided by AWS, so maybe it is not working perfectly here, but generally user add creates the password automatically. If it was not Red Hat, if it was Ubuntu or it was Debian server, it would have created the or asked you for the password directly. But anyways, don't think about it much. Both the things do the same task. So it is creating up a new user and you are creating the password for the user as well. So here you see what happens. I will give the password for my user 3 as 1. Whatever you write, it will not be shown to you, or any symbol will not be shown to you, but it is taking every input internally. So I have just written 1, it will never be shown to you, but yeah, it has taken that input as well. Enter, it is saying the password isn't of course, because it is just a single digit. So I'll retype the password 1, and you will see that authentication tokens have been updated successfully. So now if you will try to switch the user from user or from EC2 to user 3, you do that, it will ask you for a password. Once you write the password, which will not be shown to you again, you will see that you have been switched to a new user. Able to understand till here, everyone? This is how exactly you create up the things. So if you will go to the cd slash, then let's go to cd home, and let's do ls. You will see there are three things: ec2 user, user2, and user3. User3 has password, user2 does not has any password. So if you will do su user2, you will directly jump into that. No need to go ahead with it. And if you go to user3, it will ask you for a password. If I'll do ec2 user, su ec2 user, it will ask for a password, and we haven't created the password for ec2 user, so that is just going to, again, what shall I say, we don't have the password itself, right? For ec2 user we were using the key. If you are out of ec2 user and go to user3 directly, then there is not a way to come out of it. Only one way you can do ahead is, I think, if this works, let me just check. Now for home also it is asking the password. Acha, come out of it. I'll say user2 doesn't has any password. Why it is asking for a password every time? Let me write down exit. Exit. Yeah, once you write down exit, you will come out of the users accordingly, and you will go to your ec2 user. If you write exit once more, you will actually log out of the whole shell itself. If you write exit, you will come to root here. Getting the point? So keep on writing exit and you'll come out of the whole things. Acha, now let's see one thing. I'll write down sudo, or let's say sudo, or no, I want to switch the user to user3. What is the password? So from root, I'm directly able to switch it without using any password as well. I'm inside my user3 now. If you, now you try to use, let's go to cd slash. Okay. Now if you try to use sudo here, let's say sudo, I'm trying to create up a file. So I'll say sudo cat file1.txt. The same command which I had given once we were working as an EC2 user, right? Remember? So I was able to create because I was using sudo, right? Now if I try to do the same thing here, you will see that it is going to tell you permission has been denied directly. Why? Because sudo command is not applicable for you. Getting it? Getting it till here, everyone?
Yes, KK.
This is how exactly you are also able to understand, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys. So this is how exactly the thing is. Now this is actually the problem. Okay, so you're not added in the same group as the root itself, or wherever this EC2 user was added. So that is why you're not able to use the sudo commands anymore. And that is why if you need to work as a root, or if you need to work as the administrator, you need to be inside as the same group, or you need to be the root account. Okay, so this is how exactly the things are done. So I think this is much more clear to you how to create up the users, how to play with them. Acha. Now let us talk about something called as changing the permissions of a file. Of a file or folder. How do we do that? This was 14 then. And this is 15. Changing the permissions of a file or a folder. How to do that? Let us try to see it. Yep. The command for that is, let me write it down. The command for that is chmod. Okay. And you can give certain numbers here. So if I will give, let us say 755. Okay. If I give it as chmod 755, then what does it mean? What is the type of permission I'm trying to give? Anybody?
Everything to user Group is write and execute, others is write and execute.
Exactly. Little bit wrong you are. Everybody, the owner should have the permission to read, write, and execute. The person who is in the same group should have the, again, all the groups should be having, again, what you can say, permissions to write and read and write, sorry, read and execute, because read stands for 4, write stands for 2, and execute stands for 1. So 4 plus 1 is 5, right? So read and execute, read and execute. That is what the thing is. So after that, you have to give the folder name here, right? Folder name or file name, whatever the thing is. Let me write it down like, yes, file or folder name. That is what does the same thing, changing the permissions of a file or folder. This other thing is done. Let us do one thing. Yeah. Cool. Let us try to see the same thing here as well inside your terminal now. Okay. So I will switch it to, I'll say exit. Exit will come to root because I came to user 3 from root itself. I am able to create anything. I am able to do all sorts of works, right? Now I'll go to EC2 user. I'll write down CD. Okay, hold on. How to go for EC2 user? Acha. If I do this, then it will ask me for the password, which I don't have. I am directly inside it. Fine. Fine. Right now I'm inside my EC2 user, isn't it? Acha. Correct. So I will do one thing. I will say I'll create up a folder here, or I'll create up a file here. I'll say cd file1 dot txt. Got it? Or let's do one thing. Let's go to cd slash ls. What are the things available here? This is inside the root, right? What are the things here? Let's create up a folder now. So I'll say vi, sorry, folder. For creating folder, we have to write down make directory folder new. Let me say new folder. I'll have to write down sudo as well. Otherwise, it will not create the folder itself. So once I have created the folder by using sudo, let me just write down ls now. Is that folder coming? New folder is coming. Let us go inside our new folder. And here, let me just write down file1.txt. I'll create up a file called as file1.txt. I'll write down cat. I'll have to add down sudo as well. Permission denied. Why? Hold on. Okay, fine. I am using vi instead of cat. That is fine. Let's say I'm going to write hi all. That's it inside this file. Escape :wq. Done. Now, if you will do ls here inside your new folder, you will have a file1.txt. Now let's do one thing. Let us try to go to. Let's switch user to user 3. Password is 1. Now I'm inside user 3. So now I'll go to again slash ls. Let us try to go inside new folder. cd new folder. ls, what is there? File1.txt. If I'll write down cat 1.txt directly, will I be able to do it? Oh, I'm able to do it. Achha. That is perfectly fine. Then I'll again switch the user. I'll go back to EC2 user. Now I'm going to say change mod. Okay. The owner of this file should have all the access. So I'll write down 7. The person who is next to it should have the permission to write and execute, or let's say only execute. He or the groups, wherever these things are, groups should have the access to write, or sorry, only execute. That's it, only execute. Or not even execute. Let us say I'm going to give them the access to, what shall I say? Read, write, and execute, right? Fine. So I'll give them as 2. Got it? Which file? The file.txt, right? What was the file? File1.txt. File1.txt. This is the permission I'm giving to my file here. I'll press enter. Permissions not permitted. Acha. Fine, fine, fine. You have to use a sudo, remember. Okay. Once you are done with this, you can see that sudo chmod, this is the permission. Now I'll try to switch the user again. I'll try to go to sudo user 3. Let's see, now am I able to read the file or not, because I have changed the permissions, right? I have not given permission to read now. I'll go for cd new folder. Oh, yep. That file1.txt. This is the read access I'm asking about. Now you will see that it is saying permission denied. Earlier it actually executed. See the same thing from user 3, it executed the same thing, but now it is saying permission has been denied. Why? Because you have changed the permissions of the file. You are saying that nobody should be able to read it apart from the owner of the file. Who is the owner of the file? EC2 user. So only EC2 user has all the sorts of access. Nobody else has all sorts of access available. Able to get it or not, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
You're right, or should I explain it to you once again?
No, it's okay. Done.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So this is how exactly you have to change the permissions of the files. Okay. Now all the files or whatever the files are here inside the root, they are not actually accessible by everyone. Now you cannot say that, let's try out something. Let's say that in root you generally are not able to create any file or folder, isn't it? EC2 user was able to do so because it was using sudo, but this user 3 will not be able to do so because it doesn't has the sudo command in it. So if you say sudo file, let's say, yeah, sudo, and try to write down something like sudo file1, let's say file1 dot, or let's say file2 dot txt, where first let us go to slash. I'll say I'll go to slash, and let us say sudo file vi file1 dot txt. Okay, now see. Okay, we trust you have received the resolution from the local, respect the privacy. Acha, is it able to, is it having, exactly, sudo user 3 is not in the sudoers file. This incident will be reported. So this thing will not be, or you will not be able to create some. So what I will do, I'll go to EC2 user. I will say sudo chmod 777. Everybody should have the access to slash here. If I do so, now see what happens. I will switch the user to user 3. Password is 1. Okay, now if you go to CD, try to create a file or directory. Let's say I'll create a directory now. Folder 3 without using sudo. It is created. Able to see this folder 3 is also present now. Are you able to understand the idea now? If you try to go inside this folder 3, now what did I do actually? I said that I should give access to everyone. To which folder? To slash. So now nobody is actually going to get permission denied error. Why? Because everybody has the permission to do whatever task they want to do inside the roots folder. Earlier it was only root and the persons who are included in the sudoers group. You can see here, right? Sudoers file. The people who are included in the sudoers file, they only have the access to do so. So by default, what does Amazon do? It actually creates up the EC2 user in such a way that it is EC2 user is already included in this sudoers file. Okay, and so it has the access to everything using the command sudo. But user 3 was not able to do the same thing. So what happened? I said that let's do one thing. Let us change the permission of the slash folder itself and give the permission to everything, to everyone as well. So now others also have the permission to operate inside your slash folder. Now since others also have the same thing to do or same permissions to go ahead with, you can understand how exactly the things are, right? So that is the reason why user 3 is also able to create up a folder inside your slash, which is again a roots folder. So this is how exactly Linux is, you can say, used. Did you get the idea or not? Now till now everything is clear to everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
How exactly you will be working in Linux?
Yeah.
Cool, cool. So now what we are going to do is, now I'm going to end up the session for today here, and from Monday we'll be starting on Git. We'll be understanding how exactly Git works, Git, GitHub, and yeah, more so this is how exactly the things will be. So we'll be using the same Linux environment for creating up, or again creating up the repositories or downloading the installing the softwares. So now at that point of time you will understand everything because you have already gone through the sessions. um, Once more I'll again upload these sessions over the drive, and I think I'll have the email by today for both of you. I know that I haven't been sharing the same things because the email IDs were not with me, but now they are with me. I'll give you the access to those folders. So shortly you'll receive an emails about your classes here. Okay. So make sure that you go through them before sitting on Monday again. Make sure that you understand everything. Okay.
Yeah. Can you tell about the billing part in AWS account? Like everything is not free, right? Like I cannot go access everything. So there's something called if I try to access which is not free, I would get the
Charges for that. Now see,
yeah.
you are actually given access to all the services in AWS. Okay, if you're creating the account for the first time.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
and most of the services will be free for around 750 hours. So that is more than enough for you to practice over your AWS part. Okay. So don't worry about the billing and all those things. Even if you are charged, you will be charged very, very little, around 10 or 20 rupees like that. If you are again um, using the AWS console so much that, what shall I say? Again, you're using up the free services or free times of all the services which is being given to you. So if you launch up the instance for more than 750 hours, then you will be charged.
okay.
Like that, it is there. So whatever I have done till now in the classes, that doesn't actually costs. They are free of charge.
Okay.
Database will not charge you for that. For setting up VPC connections, all those things. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, fine.
Okay. So Bhagwan, good? Are you good?
Yeah, it's good. I have one issue. So from Monday we are starting DevOps, right?
Yes.
So can we start the classes early because it's 10:50. It's because too difficult for me on the 11:30.
Okay. So when do you want to start the classes at?
Maybe it's 9, around 9. It will be fine.
Around
9:15.
9. Okay. Okay. I'll just have a talk with the team and I'll let you know.
Yeah, yeah, that will be then great actually.
Okay. Okay.
Because for DevOps actually we are maybe it will extend 1 hour, 1 hour 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, like that will extend.
Yeah, then that it will be good if it will be good more if it is go to 2 hours also. So, but for that actually I need time. No, we
Yeah,
start
yeah.
from 9 o'clock. Then if it is go till 11:30, then also it is okay for me. So I get that. So we can get that much. We will start at 11 or 10 or 10:15. So then after if I even if I have any doubts, so I will not get time to.
Okay. I'll just have a chat with them regarding this issue and I'll let you know. I'll
Okay,
confirm.
and okay, and the meeting link which I already shared on WhatsApp, it will be same, all right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It will be same. If there are certain changes, you will be made to know earlier itself.
Okay, because today what happened, I was just waiting for the meeting invite link, so I just that's why I joined late actually. I
Oh, is
thought it
it?
was a different meeting link, so I was just waiting for.
Yeah, even me. Even I had asked for the early classes, like classes for the early time.
Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll talk to the people and I'll let you know your issues to them. Okay, they'll
Yeah.
manage it up and then they'll let you know shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That will be actually great for us, so that we will get at least 2.5 hours to get talk with you. We can if
Yeah.
any
Right.
issue to discuss with you.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
yeah, because today it's already 11:20 or 25. So right now I have to get to right now I have to get ready and go to the office. So even if I have any issue, then
No, I
so,
can understand that it is actually difficult.
yeah, actually.
Okay. Okay, fine. So just adjust for today. I'll talk to them. Maybe your process duration will change from Monday onwards.
Okay.
Okay, I'll request them accordingly.
Yeah, sure.
Okay then. Thank you guys for
Yeah,
your
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.